What's going on, guys? It's Anthony with A&M Freight Management. Just doing a video real quick for all my customers, my future customers, or any shippers out there that have to transport goods via trucking and transportation. It doesn't matter if you're a farm, you're a warehouse, builder, building supply, any of the above. There's a couple key things that you always should ask, no matter who you hire to transport your materials and your goods. So I have a link on the bottom of this video right here that's going to send you to my website, and it's got a detailed breakdown of these 5 questions. I call them the top 5 questions to ask any freight broker before you hire them. And they're important to know. This way you know who you're doing business with, you know you're not getting taken advantage of, and you know you're going to get protected. So the number one question is, what experience do you have in the freight industry? Not every freight brokerage is the same in regards to this. A lot of the bigger corporate brokerages, what they do is they just hire people that have never been involved in the trucking and transportation industry before, and they train them via what they were trained by them, and so on and so forth. Basically, they're stockbrokers in the trucking and transportation industry. You got to be careful of those guys because all they know how to do is look at a computer screen and say, okay, well, this lane dictates this price, and that's it. They don't know how to differentiate between different types of materials, different types of liabilities, different types of, issues that may come about during that transportation mode, such as seasonable weather, or the amount of freight coming out of the area that you're trying to send it to, which would increase the rate of your lane going in there. So these are all things that should be noted before you hire somebody. Ourselves, we're family owned and operated, but we've also been operating our own trucks for the last decade. So we do have experience on both sides of the fence. I do know what it costs to run a truck, and I do know what each different type of material requires in regards to safety aspects, protecting the freight. If it is fragile, it doesn't need to be covered from the weather, or is it just strap and go, see you later, or load it in the box and see you later. So these are things that not every freight brokerage would know. Number two would be, how do you ensure the reliability and safety of the carriers that you work with? These are basically background checks in regards to, protecting against the fraud that's in the industry right now. Post-COVID, fraud has run rampant in this industry. There's a lot of new carriers that came into the industry that just either are not reliable within, their own means of transportation with their own trucks, and how they upkeep their trucks, which is all stuff that you can see if they've been getting tickets for over the past 2 years in regards to their maintenance. Have they been getting put out of service a lot? Are they breaking the law a lot, speeding a lot? These are all things that are easily sought out when you're going through your hiring process. And if you don't have the right number on that load, you may not be able to afford somebody who doesn't have any of that. Another big issue, like I mentioned before, is the fraud. Do you have methods in place to ensure that the carrier that you're hiring is actually the carrier that's picking up your load? For us, we ensure this by having carriers take pictures of the trucks and trailers when they show up at the shipper. We know what our shippers' yards look like, but we also have a very close relationship with our customers and with our shippers in regards to having them double check and make sure, hey, listen, the name on the side of the door, it matches the name on the bill of lading that we provided, and it matches the name of the company that we hired. Number three would be, what kind of technology systems are you using to track shipments? So you guys using Motive, CentiMS? There's a variety of different GPS tracking devices that can be used in order to make sure your delivery is on track, on time, and going in the right direction. Not every broker uses these. Some of these are more expensive than others, and they're all pretty much the same in regards to the final accomplishment. However, some brokers don't use them at all, and that could be a little sketchy, especially when dealing with first hire carriers that you've never used before, in regards to keeping track of them and making sure they're doing the job and doing it right. Number four would be, what are your pricing structures and fees? Not every load is priced the same. Obviously, different lanes require different price features. Also, different materials require different pricing. And how does that broker go about putting a cap on that? So we are not ever really the cheaper broker to deal with because we do put quality over quantity, being that we do chase out the higher quality trucks. We prefer to go with them because they are usually a little bit more reliable and well, much more reliable and a little bit more on the safe aspect in regards to preventing anything from going wrong. Not every carrier is perfect. Even sometimes when you go out of your way to hire somebody that's got a perfect track record, they are only human and things do happen. Um, but we also put a cap on our service fees. So our fees are always included with the price that we give you. We don't charge you a price and then add commission to that. We give you a price based on what we believe is a fair rate to hire a reliable carrier with our percentages included. So if I underbid a load, and I got to break even on a load, that's happened before. Sometimes I've had to break even on a load because I underbid it, and I'm not going to go ahead and, you know, really add more money unless it came down to the point where I'm going to lose money. Then I got to call the customer and unfortunately ask, say, hey, listen, I messed up. I didn't bid the load right. Need a little bit more money, but that's happened maybe once ever. So, does that particular broker put a cap on their percentage? I mean, there are carriers out there that have caught major brokerages taking between 40 and 50% off of a load. It's a big number, especially when you're talking about some of these longer distance loads that warrant a higher price tag. If you're taking 40% off of a $800 load, that number is not as big as 40% off of a $3,000 load. We cap our percentage at 20. So we never take over 20%. Our customers love us for that because if I do quote a load at a certain price and then I manage to find a reliable carrier that runs a load and the remainder of the balance is over 20%, I automatically discount my customer on the back end. I automatically cut my percentage down to my maximum amount and then take it off the final invoice when I go to bill out the customer. So these are things that you can ask in regards to helping mitigate the cost of your freight shipment, to make sure that the broker isn't going to just overcharge you and pocket whatever he can pocket. And then the fifth and probably one of the most important questions is, can you provide references? Can you provide customer references in regards to your service levels? I whenever I'm talking to a new customer, I am always willing to give, as long as my customers are okay with it, my existing customers, I'm always willing to give references with names and phone numbers for them to contact. Just like I ask for before I work with a new customer, I always ask for credit references and EIN numbers so I can run a credit score. It should be the same thing with you guys when you are hiring a freight brokerage. Ask them, listen, can I get 3 customers of yours that I can call and see what kind of quality service you're offering. Can I run a background check on you? It shouldn't just be one way. It should be both ways. And if anything, you should feel like your potential freight broker is going above and beyond to make sure that you're the one that's going to be happy at the end of the deal. At the end of the day, this is a service industry. This is a service being provided, and you should be requiring whoever you hire to offer the best service that they could possibly offer you. So these are 5 questions that I do have on my website. You can click them up and check them out. And, it's got a much more detailed description of, those questions and what to ask. And it's one page printed out, and next time you go to hire somebody, ask them those questions. See what kind of answers you get. A lot of these companies now are so used to you calling them up and basically guaranteeing that they're going to get your business because they think they're the best thing since sliced bread. And, we all do toot our own horns, and, I do believe that my company is one of the best freight brokerages that you can possibly hire because we do go out of our way to make sure that you're happy. But you should feel free to ask these questions, get those answers, and make sure that whoever you are hiring is the right decision for you and your company, to make sure you ensure the success of your company. Because at the end of the day, without your success, I can't be successful. Because if you're not successful, then you don't need to hire me, because there's nothing for you to ship. So that's it for today. Just give us a shout. I got the link down below, but it's amfreightmanagementllc.com. And we hope to hear from you soon, and we hope to take care of any of your trucking and transportation needs. Have a great one.